Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. I am Richita, currently doing my B.Tech second year CSE D section in Dr. MGR Educational and Research Institute. In this moment, I remember one of Abdul Kalam's quote: "All birds find shelter during rain, but eagle avoids rain by flying above." So, by this quote, we should fight towards our barriers and strive to achieve our success. With that, I thought of welcoming everyone gathered here for Alumni Lecture Series 18 on the career opportunities in IT industry by our distinguished alumni. Now I request Dr. S. Geeta, HOD of CSC Department, for giving this opportunity. I extend a special gratitude for our guest speaker of the day, MS Madhabi Bose, security expert in Ernst& Young, London. Now I request our HOD, Dr. S. Geeta, to address the gathering. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Ma. Actually, I'm very happy to have Madhavi as today's. It's always proud alumni, yes. That too. Actually, Madhavi, just I wanted to talk about you more to our students. She's the vibrant girl, I can say, during Tekastra time and all. Simply, we'll give a work to her. She know how to prepare itinerary. She know how to pull the crowd as well as the people, those who are sitting on the dais too. Such a wonderful girl. Now, and naughty too. That also I have to say, yes. And really, I'm happy and hear that Madhavi is it's working in one of the topmost company, and yes, they are the leading expert in security domain. Because since we have B.Tech information security and cyber forensic domain, people their dream companies and now they wanted to get an opportunity to work for A&I. I hope in future Madhavi may help us, help our student to get into A&I. This is my request. So really, we are delighted to have Madhavi as a speaker on today. I don't want to take much of her time. She is the right person to motivate the youngsters, yeah, the budding engineers, those who are doing their courses now. Madhavi, please. That's we alumni are the strength of any department. Immediately in the late night, I just sent a message. Immediately she accepted. She is the person always kicking me to, Madam, I'm coming to the university. You'll be available on that time and all. So suddenly, Madhavi only it comes in your mind, comes in my mind when we are talking about alumni. You are the right person today to motivate our students. In fact, how to set their goal and how to achieve their goal and Madhavi, please motivate our student. And you are junior, you are juniors.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. So, basically, the topic was recent trends and career opportunities.
They'll have an introduction about Madhavi, I hope.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
thank you, ma'am. So, with this, I ask Lavanya from B.Tech second year CSC D section to give an introduction about today's speaker.
We are honored to invite our distinguished alumni of 14th batch, Miss Madhavi Bose, who is currently working as security expert in Ernst& and Company at London. Miss Madhavi Bose has done her B.Tech degree in Dr. MGR Educational and Research Institute in the batch of 2014 to 2018. She has experienced 2 years in Hewlett Packard as a network engineer. Then she had a year of experience in Byju's as a product expert. She is such a young and talented person. We are happy to have her on this occasion, and we are proud to have her on this alumni. Now I request Miss Madhavi Bose to address us on recent trends and career opportunities in IT industry. Thank you.
okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
thank you,
hello
Lavanya.
everyone.
And now I hand over the session to Miss Madhabi Bose to deliver her talk. Please, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So I'm not able to see most of the people, and I actually have been thinking a lot about what to speak to a crowd because really have never delivered such a workshop or haven't spoken to such a huge crowd before. But so I started writing, like, what can I really talk about today? But then I thought, let's get back to my experience. I think rather than trying to find out and figure out what uh, might the internet say, a better option will be for me to share my experience till now, from my university till now that I'm working. And I want this session personally to be very interactive. So if anybody has any question at any point of time, just stop me and ask me in the middle. And that should not be a problem at all, right? Well, yeah.
Madhabi, sorry to interrupt. Actually, the students are not permitted to talk, but they can raise their questions in the chat box so that you can use the chat box for their queries.
Okay. Fine, I have my chat box open. Yeah. Okay. So, well, I finished my engineering, and I think people are going to be very surprised to know that I actually wanted to be a doctor. Engineering was never my option. I didn't even start my career thinking I'm going to be an engineer. But I cleared my NEET and I got into BDS. I didn't want to be a dentist. So at that point of time, it felt like engineering is going to be a better option because I didn't want to waste another year and study again for NEET. So my engineering started from 2014, and it was the university you're studying in right now. And I had the best 4 years of my life because that was the first time I come from Kolkata, West Bengal. And for me, for the first time, everything was new, different. It was a change, and took me some time to get myself adjusted. But that was one of the best things that I have done, because today, whatever I am, my base belongs to the university. And all the professors that you know now has been a part of my engineering journey. And even after that, so I have tried keeping a contact with most of the professors possible. And it has been an amazing journey. And so when you're learning, when you're doing your engineering, the first thing that comes to your mind is, am I on the right stream? Did I choose the right thing? Now, this confusion is probably going to be there till the third year of your engineering, almost third year of your engineering, because you're never sure. At times, even I thought maybe I should have been doing mechanical and not computer. But after that, you'll find your professors helping you understand what you are good at. So I had Geeta ma'am, I had all, like, from Kanya ma'am to everyone. They will show you different parts of engineering, different parts of computer science, and they will tell you your strengths and your weaknesses. So when you write your tests or you attend a lecture with them, you will understand if you really are interested in that specific subject or not, because every subject holds a specific stream once you're done with your undergrad. So that is how I developed an interest on hacking, ethical hacking. So when I was in my third year, the first step that I took was I got myself certified. I got myself certified under Rahul Tyagi. So when I had my vacation, my summer vacation, I went to Delhi and I got myself registered for a certified ethical hacking course. And that was the first step, for very first stepping stone. Again, a confusion whether I really want that as my career option or not, because it's something very vulnerable. You cannot just simply start hacking without anybody looking after you. It's very dangerous. So you might have interest in hardwares, you might have interest in softwares, but I think you'll be very surprised to know that even though now I'm working, but I'm still not good with any of the computer languages. I still I don't know much of it, because from the time I started developing an interest for computer science, especially ethical hacking, I practiced these things so much that I understood I have to break things. So when you're hacking something, when you're getting into something, you will come across lots of tools, you'll come across lots of ways and processes of how to do it. And you'll see that most of the time, what you're doing is you're breaking everything. The links, the hyperlinks, the codes, everything that you get from the back door, from the front door, you're just trying to break everything. So I got so used to breaking everything. Those breaking anything did not need any coding. So you just have to understand if you're really breaking an algorithm, you have to understand where you are using your tools. But again, if you don't understand the logic, it went fine. But now when I started, because I'm still interning before I start working. And now that I'm working in a very real time, like a situation, a scenario, most of the time I'm in server room. You'll find me in the server room. Now I know and I understand that before breaking something, you also need to understand how to make it. How are you creating something? Because if you don't know that, you can't protect anything. So most of the time now, recently, like after 5 years of my undergrad, my master's is over, and now I've started learning Python. Okay. I think nothing is too late, but it's important that you know at least one language and you're very steady with it, so that in future you understand what exactly you are looking for. Okay. Because they say, my teacher used to always say that before being a white hat hacker, you need to learn how to think like a black. So until and unless you're able to think like a black hat hacker, you cannot keep yourself one step ahead of them. So it's important that you think like a black, but you work like a white. So I think that's something very important. And even though I did my master's in cybersecurity, but again, when you start doing masters in cybersecurity, they will again give you about 5 to 6 different streams where you can expertise. Now, it can be pen testing, it can be digital forensics, it can be information technology, it can be anything. Because now that you know that you want to stick your career to computer science, you will have to choose one specific branch, one specific stream where you want to be an expert in it. So when you choose pen testing, they literally expect you. Okay, so in UK, what I've seen is that the competition is quite a lot, especially because even though your skills are higher than any possible British student here, because when we did our undergrad, our syllabus were a lot more tough, and we have learned a lot more than the UK undergrad students. So your skill set will always be a little more, but you will have to prove yourself as an asset to any company where you want to work. That's something very important. That's something they look for. That because they have their options again in London, in entire England, in UK, they have their options. So the main thing that they want to see is if they want to hire an Indian, are you different, or do you know something that they do not know, the people in here, they're not very good with. So when you develop your skills further, it's very important that you focus on one such thing where you specifically will be able to expertise. And when you start expertising yourself, it's very important that you have an interest in it. So though I did cybersecurity, but I developed an interest for AI and robotics. So because I had a subject on AI and robotics, and I did a research on AI and robotics as well during my entire research year. And I realized that it's very nice. It's very, like, I felt very comfortable with artificial intelligence, and it's a very, like, a growing platform, absolutely, because most of the companies, the big fours and the big companies from Google to Microsoft to every company that you can think of are going to look for an AI expert in future. Even they have started looking for one because everything is going to be based on AI in the near future. So I started developing an interest. Now, when you start developing an interest for a subject that is not inside your course, that is when you have to start working extra. You have to put in a lot more effort, a lot more time, because AI means it comes with machine learning and most importantly, statistics. So if you do not understand the mathematical part of AI, it gets very difficult now, because if you want to understand algorithms for a robotics project, you will have to understand stat and um, machine learning. Now, machine learning is mostly mathematical. Uh, you'll see your friends in mechanical engineering, they are studying machine learning at the moment. They should be studying machine learning. So now now being a cybersecurity student, I did not have machine learning, stat, or anything that was related to AI because it was just a subject that I had to cover. It was not my core subject. So that is when you have to give your time and you have to understand you really have. Now, I'm in a situation in my career where I can now switch. So if in case I'm interviewing for a position for an AI expert or a robotics expert, I will be able to sit for the interview and I will be able to take up the interview and go ahead with it. So what happened here is I've given myself, again, when I started interviewing for different companies, I've given myself almost a month and a half to go through everything so that my interviews go fine. And initially, when I finished my undergrad, I appeared for 34 different companies. I interviewed for 34 different companies and I was hired by Hewlett Packard, Bangalore. So I've worked in Electronic City for almost a year and a half, and I was working there as a network engineer. So, okay, now the funniest part was my designation said network engineer, but I used to work in the server room on an on-site project from US. So I used to work US times, and it was purely a server-based project. So you practically cannot call it a network engineering because it's a cybersecurity thing that you're doing. But after about 8 months, I got my own team. I had 34 people working under me and I led the whole team. So it was one hell of an experience, to be very honest. And I changed my company because I felt personally I wanted to grow more. I wanted to experience, most importantly. I was very confused. I did not know what exactly do I want. And so I wanted to just change. I wanted to see where do I fit right. It's like you're going to feel like a piece of your puzzle and you're trying to fit yourself every single place you get an opportunity and see whether you're able to do it or not. So there is no problem in changing companies at the beginning of your career. It does not question your commitment. It does not question your reliability at the beginning because you are also trying to understand. And that's absolutely understand. I even have friends who've changed 6 companies in just 3 years. So that's fine. But once you're maybe done with your master's or once you've reached about 4 to 5 years of experience is when the industry expects you to understand and be confident of what you want and try and settle down in one particular space. Because that is when the commitment and the reliability comes in the whole scenario. So I worked as a product expert in Byju's, and I used to test products before them being launched. So that was also a good profile for me, but I used to test it through security. So that was my part of testing. Like I used to do all the pen testing for the products, whichever was being launched at the moment. And again, that was a completely different experience from what I gained from Hewlett Packard. So it is absolutely fine to go ahead and see how you're working to different companies or different roles, most importantly. And it's okay. You do not have to expect that you will be able to do it, because I still remember when I started pen testing, uh, it was difficult. It took me because I'm pretty fast a learner. So if I have an interest in something, I'm gonna pick it up very fast. But it took me almost 2 months of training in Byju's to understand pen testing. But the good thing is I gained something, I learned, I understood what I really want and what I don't want. But that was not an option. So then I understood I'm not meant for pen testing. So after that, I did my master's in the middle of COVID, which again is why I think I lack a good master's, like university life experience when it comes to my master's, because a lot of things were done online. And even ma'am knows that I'm pretty much an old school student still. So I prefer professor, me, blackboard, teach me like in person. So in-house study is what I still prefer. But almost more than half of my education for my master's happened online. Even my practicals happened remotely. My labs and everything happened remote because of the situation. But still, uh, master's is going to give you a shape of what exactly you're looking for. Now, I think I'm ready to share what I really want as a perspective, and it is something that even I did not ever think, or I didn't think that it was possible. So now maybe, with some time in future, because now that I'm currently working, I am going to give myself some time to more experience, maybe a few years of experience of working. And then I still want to complete law. I want to do law I want to be a cyber law expert, because that is a very rare combination. Somebody who's a cybersecurity expert and also a solicitor, a lawyer in the same firm, is a very, very rare combination nowadays, and is something that's extremely in demand. But again, law is not easy when you do it from a different country. It's going to take about 4 to 5 years. It has its set of entrance exams that differs from country to country. And I really never focused on one specific country to look for. Now that I'm in London, does not mean if I get an opportunity, I'll not move to US, or I will not move to Australia. It depends on opportunities again. It is totally fine to change your bases. It's absolutely fine to change countries, but don't be rigid about something. Don't be rigid about keeping one thing in mind that, I want to go to US, I want to do my master's, and that's it. I don't want to go to any other country. No, whatever opportunity comes at whatever time, if you think that suits that specific time, take it, do it, and don't think about what's going to happen. If you're able to finish and find your interest, it's going to be fine. So not necessary if you do your master's from India, you're not going to get a job in Australia. Absolutely not. Again, most important, it depends on your skill set. And nowadays, visas are becoming very friendly. Like at the current situation, Austria is providing visa to students without any job. There is a specific benchmark of score that you have to score like above 70 out of 100 to get the visa. You don't even need a job. Then you have a lot of European countries that, like Netherlands is providing visa from one of the big fours. And so visa is really not the issue. So, and visa is getting more flexible, but with UK, it's getting a little too rigid with all the inflation and the recession that has happened over the past 2-3 years. They are getting a little rigid, But other countries, they are providing visas like it's breakfast, like dosa in the morning. How many do you want? So that's the situation at the moment. So make use of it. So understand. So before you do something, just research a lot. Look over what's happening in other countries and what are the opportunities they are providing, and experiment with yourself is what I would say. Experiment with yourself as much as you can, because if you really want to understand where you belong or what you like, you will have to experiment. That's not going to come just with working in one company or just doing something for 5 months. That's not going to happen. Experiment with yourself as much as possible. If that means changing companies, that's fine. If that means you want to develop some skill, you need help, take help, get into an online course, do it. You have amazing professors in your university who are always going to help you. You need something, you start studying about something, you want to know more, go to them, ask them. They are always going to help, because I have never gotten no from my university, to be very honest. All the professors, all my teachers, I have never got a no. And get yourself also into all the curricular activities when it comes to take part in your own fests, or there are interdepartment fests. Take part in them. The more you do, if you have a fear of, group discussion, talking, group discussion is something that happens in India, but I haven't seen it happening in UK till now. But group discussion is still a very major, important part of your interview that you got to clear. So if you feel it's not just about, again, gaining knowledge about your subject, you also have to groom yourself. You have to understand what the industrial standard expects from a fresher, what the industry is expecting from you. You still have time, prepare yourself accordingly. If you are scared of something, do it more and more. Do it as much as you can. If you have a fear of maybe, speaking to someone, communication, work on it. You even have experts for communication in university. So it's not just, again, about studies and everything. Sometimes it's also about grooming up yourself. Make up your mind about how you want to see yourself once you graduate from university. Start looking for a job about 6 months prior to your graduation. Start looking for opportunities, because there are going to be placement in your university as well. Sit for as many placements as you possibly can. You get a job, you don't get a job. As I told you, I appeared the initial time, I appeared for 34 different companies, and Hewlett Packard was ready to give you an opportunity. So just because 3 or 4 interviews did not clear does not mean you cannot clear it again. Keep giving yourself lot of opportunities, and something or the other is going to open up. So just concentrate on whether you're looking at the right door or not, whether you're looking at the right designation or not. And I think that's it. That was my experience. And right now I'm still in the learning phase. It has not been so. When I was a student here in London, I've also worked with McDonald's, because here students mostly get about 20 hours of work permit. Every week you can work for 20 hours, and it's very expensive. It's pretty expensive a living here. So as a student, you will have to find something or some time to work so that you're able to, constantly provide for yourself. So I used to work with McDonald's as well. And sometimes I still work with McDonald's because they did not let me resign. But now I work in the office, but then I used to work as a crew member and then a crew trainer, and then I became a shift manager. So that will also be there. So when you struggle, there will be a part of you that will be struggling in a lot of different ways, but that's just going to make you stronger. That's it. So currently I'm still in the learning phase, even though I work with EY. My seniors really help me out, because a lot of times I mess things up even now, because I'm trying to learn. Again, I'm trying to learn. You are going to make mistakes. That's okay. There are two things that are very important when you're learning. Be open to criticism is the first thing. Take positive criticism. That's very, very important. If somebody's trying to give you a feedback, even from your professors, ask them that, like, do you think I should change something? Do you think I'm doing okay? You know, time to time, go to your professors, ask them, go to your teachers, ask them, how am I doing? What do you think I should do to get better? Try writing papers. Research is going to be one of your strongest fields from this university, at least I have learned. And concentrate on your final year project. I'll say that plays a very important role when you go to fourth year and there will be a final year project. Think again and again what you want to do there. So, and have a project that has a perspective after a point of time. So if you have a project like that you're doing on a domestic scale, think if you take that project to a commercial level, will that have a future? So try to think big when you work on your project, because if your project has a perspective, it's going to help you a lot when you go for your interviews. They see you have a vision. They see you're able to think. And that's something very important. So take the positive criticism. Don't be sad about it. I know at times it is a little demoralizing that I did something and it wasn't good enough. It's not about not being good enough, but it's about the effort that you've put in. So always make sure that once at least a while you say you're doing a good job, because you are going to put in a lot of effort. Sometimes it's going to be perfect, sometimes it's just going to go in vain, but prepare yourself for a lot of misdeeds and failures on the way. Take criticism, understand why are, like, if you're not able to understand someone's feedback, if you're not able to understand why they are saying what they are saying, go back, ask them. There's no problem in asking people, okay, so you said I did something wrong here, or I couldn't match the standard, so what is it that you're expecting from me? I need you to explain it to me. It's fine, it's absolutely fine. Positive criticism, understanding, be open to it. So whenever people are saying something, listen. So just to, like, understand what they're trying to say. Their perspective is very important for you, for your growth. That's the first thing. And second, make up your mind that there will be lots of failures, lots and lots of failures, lots of rejections when you're done with your graduation. When once you finish your B.Tech, there is going to be a hell lot of rejection. You have to be okay with it. Learn to accept it and move on to the next company and start interviewing again. And that's absolutely going to be fine. But I've seen a lot of people, not just a lot of people, friends from my own group, my own batchmates. After a few interviews, I know it's a little difficult to not be demoralized and be still remain positive, but remain positive, because only once you start chasing something, you'll be able to attain it or achieve it. So the moment you give up, it's gone. So that should never be the thing. That should never be the thing. So make up your mind, prepare yourself that you will face a lot of rejection, because that is something I still feel those are the two things that I was not prepared for. And I learned them over the years. But you still have time. You still have people who are telling you this. So you still have time to understand and prepare yourself. So just learn and prepare yourself that these two things are very important and is going to happen to you many times. So do that. And I think another very important thing is be open to learning. So what the company mostly wants is somebody who is open to learning, because they don't expect a fresher to know something and be very good at something. Even though I've done my master's, they still did not expect me to be very good at what I do right now. So because EY was the first company, like, let's get to a language. I said, okay, fine. I learned MATLAB. I literally learned MATLAB in about 4 or 5 days. And now I'm trying to learn Python. So you understand, it's been quite a long time since I graduated, and now I'm trying to learn Python. But technology is going to change. It's evolving. It literally changes every day. Keep yourself updated with most of the stuff, what's going on around you, what is happening in the world, so that when people try to have a constructive discussion with you or a conversation, you're up for it. Talk to people, talk to as many people as you can. Build up a network over your LinkedIn profile. That really helps. And I will literally tell you how I got my EY job. I was waitressing at one of the Melia hotels in London. So there was this customer who's regular to the restaurant. Melia is one of the best hotel chains in London. So I used to work there. I used to waitress around once or twice a week, as I was asked for, as I was needed. So there was this person who was from EYHR, and he was very pleased. He was very happy with the way I was communicating with him, and I was taking care of the table. So he asked me like what I do, because he was pretty sure that I wasn't waitressing. That was not the only thing that I was doing. So he asked me, and I told him that I'm still doing my master's in cybersecurity, and this is where I study in Hertfordshire, and this is where I live. So he gave me his business card, and he said that I think your profile matches. Why don't you drop me an email? So I dropped an email, and he asked me for my resume. I worked on my resume. I sent it to him. He got me an interview along with his referral. So EY did not come through any site. EY did not come through any university placement or nothing. It just literally happened through bare minimum proper communication and through networking of my own. That's it. So talk to people when you attend something. Attend as many fairs as you want, even if it's not relatable to you, because you meet a lot of people. Meet people, talk to people, see what they are doing, see what's happening in the world. And the more you experiment with yourself, the company or the companies who are going to hire you will be ready or will be willing to experiment with you as well. So when I finished my master's, they did not expect me to know anything. But what we're looking for is someone who's ready to learn. Because whatever knowledge you have, or by the time you graduate, every knowledge that you will be having will be mostly theoretical. Because even though we have practicals, you are still not using it in real life or real-time situation. So most of our knowledge is very limited to theories. And when you work outside, the work environment and everything changes, becomes very different from what you've been doing. So once you start doing that, it's going to be different. It is going to be different. So be open to learning. And when you commit to a company that, yes, I'm a fast learner, keep your words. That's very important. They are going to help you with everything, just like your university. They are going to give you all the tools that you need, but you have to be open to work. Visas for UK is getting a little strict. It is getting stricter with upcoming days, especially because, as we all know, Prime Minister changed, and the British Indian is now ruling here, but things are getting a little more difficult because of a lot of illegal immigration that has happened. So if you want to explore UK with work, then I would still say studying is still the better and the best option to start here. But there are European countries where you can actually start with directly work, and that should work fine. But if anybody's interested, because here what happens, most of the companies are so strict, especially Google and everyone, they're so strict that they'll either expect an undergrad plus 5 years of experience, or a master's and either 0 experience or 1 year experience. So you have to work on the experience part a little bit. But as I said, try and experiment with yourself to understand, because until and unless you will enjoy what you're doing, it will get very difficult to do it. So it's because even still till now, even I feel that, maybe after 10, 12 years, when I don't want to stay in the MNCs anymore, in this IT industry anymore, I'll probably just go back to academics and be a professor. Maybe. I still don't know what's going to happen. I think I'm still going to experiment with myself for, again, after next 10 years as well. But that's going to help you grow. That is exactly what is going to help you grow. And keep growing. There's no limitation. No, at the moment, all the resources that you have, use everyone and everything. Very importantly, use every resource that you have. You have really good professors, trust me, because in my master's, I have a lot of professors here, but not a single professor is as helpful as I've got my professors for my undergrad back then. So you really have a very good backup. Try use as much as you can, libraries and everything. The moment you don't understand something, ask 1,000 times, they're going to answer, because here professors are because one professor manages 800 students here, so you cannot expect them to provide you with the attention that you need. But what happens in our undergrad or in MJ University is that you get personal attention. Everybody is going to provide you attention every way you need. So make use of these opportunities as much as you can. Try and see if you have interest in research. A lot of professors over there are going to help you with it. There are IEEE papers, there are Springer's papers. So just see if you can make a team, maybe 2 or 3 people with somebody supervising you. Just try writing papers, because that adds up, that builds up your resume, literally. So just try it. It's just going to be fine. I guess that was all about my experience and how things are working at the moment in this industry. Anyone have any question? You can put any question on the chat, that's fine. I guess not. Okay, so ma'am, do you think there is any other question or anything that I need to cover or I need to talk about?
Madhavi, can you just suggest any certification value of doing certifications so that that can help their career to get into IT industry? What type of certification IT industry expects?
Okay, so Python has a certification. If you can get yourself certified in any one language. If you want to get into cybersecurity, there are 2 best certifications I would recommend. The first one is Cisco. Cisco provides one of the top tier certificates, and there is one more test that is called OSCP. Now, OSCP is for advanced level ethical hacking. So once you're done with CEH, once you're done with certification with ethical hacking, you can always go ahead with OSCP. It's a little too tough a test to clear because it's completely practical based. They'll give you 4 systems to crack within 24 hours. So it is definitely a little difficult to test, but Cisco is something that is pretty user friendly. Cisco is recommended, and just any language that you're comfortable in, get yourself certified, but try and get yourself certified in global certification. So there is a difference between 2 kinds of certification. One that is accepted only by India, and the other one that's globally accepted. So just make sure whenever you're getting certified in any language, that certification needs to be globally accepted for you to apply in other companies outside India. Anything else, ma'am?
Students, if you have any queries, you can just post in the chat box. Really, Madhabi will help you out in whatever queries you expect from us.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am, for spending your valuable time with us by giving such informative knowledge. Hope everyone got little knowledge regarding this. And now I call upon Kumari, B.Tech second year CSE section, to deliver the vote of thanks.
A warm and grateful afternoon to one and all present in this online forum. I am Kumari from second year B.Tech-CSE section. On behalf of all the students and staffs, I am glad to be here to express my vote of thanks. Firstly, I would like to thank our management for letting us experience this event. A special thanks to our guest speaker, Ms. Madhabi Bose, for accepting our invitation and for being here with us today. Your words were truly informative. Thank you so much, ma'am. We would like to extend our gratitude to our President Engineer A.C. Arun Kumar sir, Vice Chancellor Dr. S. Geeta Lakshmi ma'am, Registrar Dr. C.B. Palanavelu sir, Dean of E&T Dr. N. Ithiraj sir, and executives for their generous support for this event. Sincere thanks to Dr. S. Geeta ma'am, HOD of CSC department, for supporting and guiding us as always. I thank our association conveners, Dr. G. Victor Sudha George ma'am, Mr. S. Praveen Kumar sir, for their support and guidance, and special mentions to the organizing secretaries, Mr. D. Saeed Ali sir and Ms. Indumati ma'am, who handled the event in the best way possible. I extend my sincere gratitude to all the teaching and non-teaching staffs for their generous support. A big thanks to one of you present here for making this event a grand success. Once again, I thank you all. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you,
Uh,
Kumari. Guys, feedback link and attendance link is posted in the chat box. I request all students to fill without fail.
Madhabi, thank you for spending your valuable time.
Problem.
I hope
Ah,
students have gained some information of what has been expected in IT industry. So it was a very eye-opening session for them. So thank you so much. Geeta ma'am is on meeting now, so she will
it's okay.
communicate with you in WhatsApp. Thank you so much.
No problem. I'll share my LinkedIn profile. If anybody has
Yeah,
any,
yeah.
if they want to talk, they can just connect to me.
You just post it in the chat box.
Yes, I will do that.
Thank you. Thank you, Madhabi.
No problem. Have a very good day, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you so much.